I do have a bit of a thing about having a ride out on Christmas Day if it's at all possible. It wasn't impossible yesterday, it's because it's Boxing Day today. But I did. I was out on Christmas Eve with a pickup. And I don't know, I just felt like having this lazy day at home. I got the cows done and lit the fire early. And slobbed out for a bit really. But it is a big rush though, because I had the cows to bed up and everything, and that tended to take nearly another hour. But today they didn't need doing. But today's a nice day, it's milder altogether anyway. Yesterday it was frosty first thing, there was some ice about. It's nearly, I'm not sure what temperature it is now, but it was nearly 10 degrees for a while. But Christmas Day is good because it's so quiet. So it's not really busy today though, you just get a few more walkers and such about. So even though it's mild, I've got the slight Michelin man syndrome. I was scared to death I was going to feel cold, and I put long johns and things on, and it makes it surprisingly difficult to get your bloody leg over the bike and reach the ground, because you just that bit, because you've got that extra layers and things on, it just makes it a bit harder to reach the ground when you've got over. I couldn't hardly lift the stand up. It's pathetic really on this bike, because it's still tall to start with. That's got to be deliberate, hasn't it? The apple muirs, so what do you expect? Unfortunately it's a bit murky and miserable down here though. At home it's been quite sunny most of the day, or at least attempted to be. I keep wanting to go up a gear for some reason with this bike. I think it's only got 5 gears, I don't even really know. You just keep going up until there's no more. I've been opening this out surely. What's going on here? He's taking some trees out there. Well, I'm not really sure now. Maybe it was a while ago, I just haven't noticed that before. It's probably more obvious in the winter when the larch trees and other trees have shed their leaves. So they've got a lot of like hard standing pitches now, which is more common for camper vans. They charge more for them, but they're typically the ones with hard standing will have electric hookups. But they look like they all have electric hookups there. Most caravans now have that. Oh, I can smell the sewage works. Phew. Until the 70s, it sounds like a joke, but Rosedale didn't have a sewage works to speak of, it just dropped in the blooming stream. The original arrangement, they had little privies behind the houses that literally sat over the stream, or at least dropped into it through a little pipe, and they more or less carried on the tradition. And then they built that new sewage works about a quarter mile more downstream, which it's a new style one with like reed beds and things, so I'm sure it generally works alright, but I should think it's a bit prone to getting too much water in at times. This is closed again. I've got boards out of there, so. This used to be just like a campsite, but now they've got all these cabins and things. See, they've all got like gas heating by the look of it. Most of these are in use. Very Christmassy. So you used to go through there, but I'm not quite sure I dare do it when there's all these people walking. The sheer number of vehicles here is amazing. I've got a picture of it with snow. All these see, that's the original place. It used to be a farm. They've laid some sort of drainage or pipe there. this is all a bit weird. This place, it's all these little tiny cabin type holiday lets and things, and a lot of them are being up for sale. I'm not sure it's all of them. The whole place looks deserted. You see, I probably mentioned this before, but there's a bit of history. The fella who, I assume it was the owner, seems to have been a bit of a dodgy geezer, and he seems to have been mixed up in shady goings on, which resulted in him. Well, I'm not even sure he can get killed, but whatever happened anyway, it's all having to be sold off or something. I don't know the full ins and outs of it. I'm not going to say on camera anyway what I think. I heard, but in particular, there was an incident which was quite well publicised, where there'd been a robbery. I think it was just a robbery there, and the car that was involved was such a great rush to escape that they ran off the road and crashed. But this is it's not untypical. These fancy houses around here, they're almost like sort of minor mansions. They have dodgy owners who think they're in the middle of nowhere, back and beyond, and can sort of hide. It's not unusual. Despite appearances, this is really just a track to some fields. There isn't a house up here or anything else. Many years ago I had an XJ900, which is quite a big road bike. Those little partridges are everywhere. And I ill-advisedly one evening decided to set off from the top of Chimney Bank across towards the cross. It's called Anna Cross, I think it is. And it got to the point where I couldn't hardly turn the thing round. But there is a trackway, don't get me wrong, there's a track and it comes all the way down and joins up with this. But in some places you really didn't want to be going on it with a big road bike. You can see Maze there. See, this is quite an old road, it's been in there. It's like a sunken way, isn't it? I think it's been right down in there, and they've kind of, maybe in that side as well, a lot of these old routes are kind of braided like this. Another, what goes up there, look? It just goes up onto the moor or something. This looks like we've really come off the main trackway now. There's an awful lot of pheasant feeding going on. Fantastic place. It says motorcycle. Oh, I see. What does that mean? It doesn't say no. But anyway, I'm not going right up there. But oh, I know there is a house up there, isn't there? In that dip in the bottom. But I think I came back down there. Not sure really. Should go a bit further along here, see where it goes to. So we've got a phone in there. Look, phone line. Yeah, oh there's the, yeah, you can see that, you see, from a few places you can see that through the trees. I don't know, it's just a farm or what really. It's a fantastic house, isn't it? And the location, very, very I'm going to have a shot of this, proper picture. But there is a footpath goes right along this side of the river further up. I like the way the mist is hanging in the trees. I think it's called Black Park. Black Park Lodge, something like that. I do like the way the mist is hanging in the valley between the trees. I'm sort of wishing I had my big camera because there's some stunning misty scenes. See, it's roughly 5 to 3, and at home the sun has set by now because it goes behind the hill. There's like a tumble down stone wall there, I don't know what's in it. Pheasants mainly, there's pheasants everywhere. Everything has got pheasants in it. It's funny that they took that hedge back there. I remember that happening in the late 60s because my granddad used to live down this road, and they never did straighten or do it with the road, maybe just to improve the visibility. You can see the maze there, and then at the top it's just, I don't even call it rough grazing because I don't see anything grazing. More bedraggled pheasants. I'm liking this ground fog that's forming. Maybe I see any. It's more right down towards the stream though, isn't it? You may be able to get. There may be some in Lastingham itself. These seem incredibly. Are they quails or something? They don't want to even move. 3:15. This is the road up to Staunton, which is another very small village, which isn't in the pretty village stakes particularly. But it is quite appealing. It's got only like a straggle of houses. God, everyone and their dog is walking out today with their kids. This one on the end, down the right, that used to be the post office. There used to be there used to be a little shed where they have their cars parked now. It was like a garage or a workshop, and in the wall of it there was a post box, and all around the post box was like these old advertising signs of enamel. So I guess it was maybe a post office and like a little shop there too, because it wasn't that unusual to sell basic stuff like tobacco, a few sweets and things, like cans of pop, or school kids and walkers and such would buy things like that when they were walking. Yeah, I think that the mist is not doing its thing around here, but we're getting a bit better light. It's just possible it'll be the same in Hutley Hole, that's a notorious mist hollow, and also Douthwaite Dale, but I think by the time I get there it'll be getting a bit dark. This bridge has actually got water running under it. It doesn't happen very often. It's just a boggy patch basically. There's a tiddliest williest little dog. It was so... It looked happy, you know, with little legs be worn out.